What's going on, everybody? Anon here, and I just want to spend some time tonight just walking through the schedule for TCGs. We're getting close to summer here, and things normally slow down pretty significantly with vacations and stuff like that. But the next couple months is going to be absolutely insane, and it's quite honestly, it's going to be brutal on your wallet because it's getting nuts. So, I just threw everything in Excel here because, quite honestly, I want to do this for myself, just so I had some idea of timing here. But let's start with Pokemon, and then we can talk about some of the other games, etc. as we get there. So, Pokemon, we have the Prismatic EV Pouch coming out this Friday, and then the Lily Premium Milk Carton. And the reason why I listed all these smaller products that generally people don't care that much about is I wanted to put the number of packs down so we can see how much inventory is actually coming into the market. And something like the EV pouch, 5 packs of prismatic evolutions, it's not going to move the needle. This Lily Premium Milk Carton with promos and decks and all kinds of stuff in 6 packs doesn't really matter. Slashing Legends tins, 5 packs, it doesn't need anything. So you have these two coming out this week. And then in 2 weeks, we have the Slashing Legends tin and the Prismatic Super Premium Collection, which is uh, I don't want to say it's exciting. I don't want to say it's the worst thing ever, because depending on what side of the aisle is you're on, it's kind of crazy because you have your target price, which is MSRP, which is completely made up bullshit, which is $90, and then you have 15 packs that are currently selling for $13-14 a pack on the open market. So you kind of do the math, you can figure out what the intrinsic value is here. It's close to $250 because then you get the promos and you have the seal premium. So it's going to be a little bit of a shit show. Then 2 weeks later we have Destined Rivals. I mean, we're literally 5 weeks from Destined Rivals, and now we're just at the point where Journey Together has stopped selling post release, and it's now starting to recover. So Destined Rivals is going to come, and this one, a lot of people say they're a little concerned. Quite honestly, I think we're safe here. Now, uh, I'm not sure that we're safe from certain stores dumping because then we have Final Fantasy coming out 2 weeks later, which is a little scary to me because Destined Rivals is going to be most likely similar to Journey Together. So there shouldn't be too much, if any, incremental strain on stores. But with Final Fantasy, there's going to be because you have a premium set and you have print runs and allocations that are going to be at least 2x what Tarkir was. So there's going to be a huge cash demand in the industry, really coming the the week after Destined Rivals gets released. So we'll see if there's any impact there. There's probably going to be something, but quite honestly, and I've done a couple videos, the value of the cards in the set and what they're going to be, unfortunately, is going to support a $250 to a $350 box, and it's just going to be what it's going to be. And like with the Prismatic Super Premium Collection, nobody's going to open it because there's too much value to open it to rip packs. They're gonna get it, they're gonna set it on the shelf, and it's just gonna sit there for the next 2 years till this goes out of print, and then it's just gonna tick up and up and up. And that's the biggest problem that Pokemon Company is going to have with Prismatic Evolutions is they're not getting packs to market because people are not breaking down the ancillary products because there's too much value in the sealed. So kind of it's kind of interesting. So you have Destined Rivals out on May 30th. Now let's jump over here. We have Flesh and Blood High Seas. I personally am not a Flesh and Blood fan. I didn't get into it until after the Monarch disaster, but I didn't get hurt at all. But I do have a bunch of dead product that it's not upside down because my base is so low. It's just I don't like cycling out heroes and taking cards that are worth hundreds of dollars and making them worth zero instantly. I think that entire concept is flawed. I think it's idiotic. And quite honestly, I think the company just needs to do a better job on that. Any set that comes out and doesn't sell boxes, but it sells singles like crazy is just, it is the most weird, artificial creation I've ever seen. But, you know, people are getting back into the boxes because they've worked the last couple sets. Um, I haven't seen a whole lot of people ask for it to play. I know there are pockets of organized play. Um, my biggest challenge with the game, quite honestly, and I know people love it. Other than management just fucking everybody over on unlimited and monarch and shit like that, and getting greedy. Um, it's just the fact that there's really no laid back play. You're either a 12-year-old in your parents' basement and this is your world, or you just don't play. So anyway, moving on, we have OP11 coming out the same day, June 6th. So that'll be interesting. And then June 13th, shit gets crazy. So we have Final Fantasy coming out now. Obviously, the week before is going to be the pre-release. The week before that, which is really May 30th, is the WPN store pre-release. So it just happens to be the same day as Destined Rivals, which is really, really interesting. So you have everything except for the gift bundle. The gift bundle comes out 2 weeks later. Supposedly super hard to get, really heavily allocated. That, and obviously the collector commander is going to be super heavily allocated, and everything else, it's going to be allocated, but you'll be able to get it, and then the play boxes will be freely available. They printed those the high hell. So going back to Pokemon, you have Rocket's Mewtwo box, which is it's a tiny EX box, 4 packs. But then you have the Teal Mask Ogerpon Premium Collection, which is super interesting because it's 10 packs. Yeah, I think this is a fancy way for them to get packs into the market, just randomly without doing too much work and getting some extra premium. But then you have the Cynthia Garchomp EX Premium Collection, which is 6 packs. So jumping back over here, and this is where we have some of the new games, and they're all hitting at this for the same reason, or at the same time for some reason. You have Godzilla, which is a new Bushiroad game, hitting July 5th. I've heard good things about it. I don't know anything about it. Obviously, the IP is reasonably strong, so we'll see. And then we have Gundam from Bandai. I looked. I thought this was an early July release. Looks like it's end of July now. So I don't know if the booster boxes got pushed. It looks like the booster boxes come a couple weeks after the pre-con decks. And again, this was a game where I was not able to demo at Gamma. I had to leave a day early for my real job. So it looks interesting. I grew up watching the early, cheesy anime of Gundam. So we'll see. Could be interesting. And then we go to the Charizard EX Special Collection. So back to Pokemon. This is the one that was pushed from last week or the week before. 5 packs here. Who knows if that's going to come out or not. Here's where it gets interesting. So we have this black and white set that hasn't been announced in English. It has been announced in Japan. So it is coming out on June 6th. That should put the English release somewhere around July 15th. And this is where we start to get into the danger zone. So, in my opinion, Destined Rivals is the peak for now. Now, obviously, 30th anniversary in February is a different conversation. But from Destined Rivals, black and white is probably a step down in demand, a step down in price. So we'll see what happens. And this is also, there have been a lot of rumors, no confirmation. But this is a set where they can really put the pedal to the metal and they can print the crap out of this because they have more than enough advanced notice. If they truly have scrapped the reprints of SV 1 through 4 / maybe 5 and 6 and 7, maybe not. I just made that up. They have more printing time for this stuff. So we'll see. And then, we'll have a set that theoretically SV 11 in September, and then November for SV 12. Now, we've heard rumors, and I believe PokeBeach said that black and white, which it should be SV 10.5, could potentially be the last one, and then we could go to Generation 10, which would be Mega Base, whatever the hell you want to call it, in September, which would be a huge break from what they've done before. And I'm not trying to speculate. I don't know the answer. That would be a really, really weird change. But who the hell knows? And then we get to some more interesting things. So Edge of Eternity's August 1st. Spider-Man comes out in October, I believe. I am not touching that. It scares the shit out of me. I know Rudy made a kind of a smart ass comment about, well, those of you who are concerned that they're gonna print Spider-Man to the through the roof to hit their numbers. That's exactly what they're gonna fucking do. So if you know anything about Wall Street, they will pull every lever they can to hit their numbers, because if you miss this quarter, you may not be here next quarter, and to hit their bonuses. So for Rudy to make a comment like that, I'm actually a little disappointed because he knows better. Um, I guess it's all his years on the broker side and never being on the operation side. But that was a little disappointing because he knows better. And if he doesn't, then shame on me for not realizing it. Um, but that's okay. We all make mistakes. And then League of Legends. This is something I've had a lot of people ask about. Coming out October 1st. Don't know much about it. Never played League of Legends. But it's on people's radar. So, this is let's see, we have May, June, July. So if we just look at May, June, July and we roll these together here, because we can, because it's close enough. We'll just throw the August 1st in there. We have 17 total releases across, let's see, Pokemon, Flesh and Blood, One Piece, Final Fantasy, Godzilla, Gundam, across seven different expansions in 3 months. So it's going to be absolutely crazy. I can only imagine that the wallet fatigue is going to be, people are going to be so exhausted with all this stuff. And this is probably the break that's going to slow the industry down a little bit until we get into the holidays. I could be totally wrong. Um, the fact that Pokemon is printing so much ancillary product, and um, I'm still not quite sure if the Prismatic Evolutions ETBs are Wave 2, like I presume they are, or a reprint because they short printed the first time. Again, which would make sense because they did not offer the Pokemon Center ETBs on release date. But we'll see. We'll see. I mean, maybe they really did set up an extra print line, if that's a thing. Again, I have no idea how the factory is configured on the floor to just print ETB after ETB after ETB in preparation for Black and White would be super interesting. And it would explain a lot of things, including how many Destined rivals, theoretically, Pokemon Center ETBs they sold. So anyway, I just want to walk through this. It's actually quite staggering when you look at it. So save your money. Everybody and their brother's going to want it for their game. And look, like the video, subscribe to the channel, join the Discord, and enjoy your evening.